Let's start the guide. Start with runes right now. I guess I'll start with the most common. For me, at least, it's actually First Strike. When I'm playing jungle, this is my most common rune page. It gives you ganking power, gives you CDR, gives you damage, gives you elixir, which is really the elixir force. Like all three elixirs are just really useful when you learn how to use them correctly. And then the free boots, which is like lots of snowball power. That's really what this page is for. I mean, it really synergizes with lethality builds. This is probably the only thing that people have questions about. You go coup de grace because in terms of damage ceiling on Zed, you actually get more from coup compared to the other two options. Like, well, last stand's kind of a wild card option. Like you can sometimes get way more damage from last stand than the other two, but more consistently speaking, it's really between these two, and this one just does more damage overall, and it's better for ganking. If I was playing lane and I was going First Strike, I'd probably switch this over to Transcendent Scorch to utilize the magic damage, because typically you need more poke damage, and the magic damage poke helps a lot. And then consider Cosmic Insight if you believe that you're rushing Eclipse first item. It's rather good if you're going to go Eclipse. If you're not, then just go Jack of all trades. That's basically white explained. Let's do yellow, second most common page. This is probably the most common for lane, or the most necessary rune page for lane Zed. So you have Thorn Shield and Second Wind are your best friends for mid Zed right now, or just lane Zed in general. I mean, melee mids are just in a really weak spot, and Unflinching just seems to be the most consistent out of all your other options. You can sometimes go Overgrowth, you can sometimes go Demolish. Unflinching just seems the most consistent unless there's really no value from it in your lane mashup. You go Flat Health typically because it has more synergy with Second Wind and D-Shield for lane phase, and also since you're going shield, you already have like an extra 110 HP. You're not really too concerned about that extra like missing health from the scaling past like level 6 or 7. Doesn't really matter at that point. You go Legend Haste, obviously. You go Presence of Mind because it just helps with energy. It's not necessary, but it helps a bit. And you go Cut Down, and these two kind of synergize in some small way for poke because you have more energy, and this gives you more poke, so you have more energy to poke, right? And then yeah, you go Cut Down when you do this because your damage is rather low. Getting them to even close to half HP is going to be rather difficult, so the Cut Down should help. Yeah, that's basically yellow. I mean, if the matchup is really easy, I don't really deviate from this though, so I'm not even going to talk about going sorcery second. I would say if you're going Conqueror, mid-Zed, Bruiser build, right, you're going to be taking this root page every time. So the other two colors, so I actually use blue more than red, but I'll go over red first. So for red, this is your standard page. If you go Longsword 3-pot start in matchups that are very killable, like Talia, you can take Ignite, and this amps your, so Cut Down amps your sudden impact and your Electrocute when you go in for those level 2 early swap trades. And that extra damage is going to be, it's going to be better than Coup because the Cut Down is going to amp everything basically and get them low enough to the point where like you don't even need the Coup to finish them because you already have sudden impact Electrocute on the next Electrocute proc to like finish them off. You don't really need the Coup with this page, so you just go Cut Down. And yeah, I mean, since you're playing for early with this setup, you go flat HP, Longsword 3 pots. Sometimes you could still go D-Shield. Yeah, you go Grizzly Mementos because the other two are not very useful. I mean, there's niche situations where I would consider them. So for like 6 cents, if I have a very good early ganking jungle, let's say I had like a Shaco on my team, or like a Xin Zhao, or like a Lee Sin, and they like ganking mid, right? I would take 6 cents and I would sweep. I would start Sweeper if the enemy jungler matchup also really kind of allows that. So that's like an example of when I would switch to Deep Ward, or 6 cents, sorry, because then I can tell my jungler, hey, this is where the wards are. They have no vision mid. You can come. Deep Ward is good against some junglers that are hard to track because you can walk it at their Wraith camp, ward it, and then you have a ward there for a really long time. So if they're hard to track, like Belviths can be kind of hard to track, Kayn, Shaco, Evelynn. Deep Ward kind of helps early game tracking these champions. If you're unsure, just go Grizzly. But yeah, they're viable, but like Grizzly is just the baseline going to be better most games. In terms of the Hunter runes, you can go Ultimate or you can go Treasure. Both are pretty viable. If you're rushing Voltaic, I actually recommend Treasure Hunter if you're going to rush Voltaic, because that build path is really bad, and the extra money, even if it's just like even if you only make like 100 gold off of like 2 kills from this, before your first item, like trust me, like the voltaic build path is the biggest weakness of that item, but it's a really good item. So if you're planning, if the matchup wants voltaic, yeah, treasure hunter is gonna be better, right? So yeah, you can also do this with D shield. This is also pretty viable with D shield, just the standard Zed page. If you're in a matchup where you want electrocute but also Dorn shield, let's say LeBlanc. This is like a LeBlanc matchup page, for example, right? And then we'll go over blue. So Comet, I slept on Comet for quite a while. Don't think it's quite that bad as I thought it was. I've been using it a little bit more recently. I've just been playing more jungle Zed than mid Zed, but in terms of scaling, wow, does it ever scale? And you'd think, how? Here's how. So if I tested this in practice tools so I can confirm these stack additively. So Axiom Arcanus and Kuda give you 20% more damage on your death mark. If you have a Spear of Sojin, add an additional 12. That's a 32% increased death mark pop most of the time. Sometimes you won't have Coot and it'll be like a 24% death mark damage increase if you're not getting this, but most of the time you're getting this. So I haven't had many death mark ults where it pops and they're above half. So yeah, that's like a massive buff to your R. So because these runes scale so hard, and you can also go double haste, and these runes scale so hard, to compensate for your lane, you can just go Scorch and Comet to get extra poke. And I go scaling HP, and I take teleport and I go scaling HP. I think if you want to try it with flat HP and Dorn shield, I think it's also viable with this page because you have just double proc on your Q. So you can actually get away with D shield ignite a little bit with this page. But yeah, it's kind of a fun page and it scales really, really hard. That's blue. That's pretty much runes explained. On a fun note, actually, I did also the other day do a mathematically correct Zed sub, and it's kind of interesting. So I was like, what's the best rune page I can get late game, right? So you can actually go Conqueror, and this is more viable in the low rank. It doesn't really work in high elo because like you can't really sack every single slot, right, of your runes. Everything is sacked early, but if you can, because it's low elo, then sure. So you go Arcanus, Coup for the double alt, right? Damage, scaling health, Presence of Mind, Conqueror, Legend Haste, and you'd think Transcendence, but no, you're Gathering Storm. This is crazy late game. This is like the mathematically like best late game Zed up rune page for Zed, but like you have basically zero value in your runes early game. Like this doesn't help your lane. This doesn't really help your lane that much. This doesn't do anything for you until you stack it up. So this is offline. Like you're playing Zed without a rune page until 10 minutes. I will say that, but it's fun. Is it that good? Well, depends. You know, I don't think so, but it's fun. I should mention the Hydra build I've been doing as well. So if you're going first strike and you have an easy matchup, and you're playing lane, this rune page with cashback instead of free boots is very good in TP. If you're in a matchup where you can just rush Hydra, Ravenous Hydra, not Profane Hydra, Ravenous Hydra. So you've probably seen a few videos earlier that I had where I had Ravenous Hydra in my inventory, and this is the rune page. Because you go cashback instead because Ravenous Hydra is 3,300 gold, so you make more money through this rune, you make more money back, and you go cut down. Because it synergizes. You're basically a scaling setup because you're going to be just hard farming. So cut down scales better than Scorch, and Legend Haste scales better than Transcendence. So yeah, let's go into items, right? Let's do Bruiser first. Okay, so in terms of how to build Bruiser Conqueror Zed, it's very simple. So you're rushing Eclipse immediately after in towards your cleaver, and then now you make a decision on your boots. If you've won the feats, you can just straight up just upgrade Lucidity right now into Crimson Lucidity, assuming you want CDR boots, sorry. Some comps you'll go Merc Treads, and then very few comps you'll go plated steel caps. Bruiser Zed, it literally is the only setup on Zed in which you can build defensive boots, because Eclipse is a high haste item and Cleaver is a very high haste item as well. So you can get away with a defensive boot purchase. And it doesn't really mess you up too hard, but standard is still this when you can. And then yeah, it even recommends it to you. So you go Serpents if they have Giga shielding, because you can't really burst through shields like you can with an assassin build. Or you go Spear. 99% of the time you're going Spear. And so this is the point where you go Axiom, and because now you have all your haste, your W has reset potential, and Bruiser is all about rotations, so you really want to just build max haste items every time you can. and then you sell shield for, it's kind of situational. It can be Edge of Night. I do think Profane has very high value. And then yeah, you can sell boots late game for the edge or like a Ghost Blade, depending on what you need. Sometimes you want mobility to find angles to get in range. Sometimes you want Edge of Night if they're engaging more often than you guys. That's actually a logical like build thing I can explain, I guess. I don't know how to say it, but like late game on Zed, how do you pick between final item like Ghost Blade or Edge of Night? Zed is a champ that built correctly, you only have one slot for an item that doesn't give CDR. Your most logical options are either going to be Ghost Blade for speed or Edge of Night for the shield, right? It really just comes down to like, can you reach their backline? If you can't reach their backline, you're losing so much damage potential by going Edge of Night, just by the fact that you can't get good shadow placement. Now, if they're engaging you guys, a lot of the time you can actually, like if their comp is actually going in on you guys first, you can just go Edge of Night and you can do the old like ult their front line, combo their back line. Now you have good shadow placement and you got access to their back line because of their front line. That is a very pretty common way to play Zed, and it just depends, right, on comps and depends on what their game plan is. So that's how I kind of decide between Ghost Blade or thing. So like let's say like their backline's really fast and like I can't ult, they have no like frontline target either to ult, then I would just Ghost Blade and like run past, right? That's an example. So yeah, that's basically Bruiser Zed, how I like to build it. I know other players have asked me to go, I've tried it and I don't like it. Like you can go like Blood Mail, Death Stance, but I really don't like the scaling on this build. It's really bad scaling. It just doesn't do enough damage for me. I feel like, because my philosophy when I play Zed is, and I'm good at, and this is how I play late game Zed so well, is that I try to like dodge every ability. Whereas this build is like, I don't care about dodging abilities, I just care about shadow placement for maximum damage. But if you're dodging abilities, you can theoretically output just as much damage and well, just as many rotations, sorry, and deal more damage through more damage items. But I'm not really a fan of this build because of that. It's too forgiving. Anyway, that's how I like to build Bruiser. More lethality. Like basically I'm going Bruiser items first and then I transition to lethality items later. So that is Bruiser Zed explained. Let's do First Strike Zed. I'll show you guys two directions you can go with this rune page. I'll actually start off by showing the most standard build for Assassin Zed that I am currently going. And this is probably what I would build with Electrocute Zed as well. For the most part, this page also works with the blue page as well. So you rush Umbral, then you go Hubris, CDR boots when needed, when tempo allows, Grudge, then you go Axiom, Preferred, or you go Spear. Axiom is slightly better in terms of damage. However, sometimes the comp will, because of comps and because maybe they have like high damage backline that got fed, you might not be able to be, or just for X reason, you're getting hit a lot when you go in. You might want the extra HP from Spear, even though it's slightly less damage, just to survive more consistently. But you get both. And then you sell your boots for Profane. And that's like your late game spike. This is your full build, right? So I have a 7.62 second cooldown while practically building full lethality. And you can also enhance this build further a touch by selling Umbral and going Voltaic, as well as because you have so much CDR, you can actually, we're actually overdoing the CDR bit. So you can actually go down into Ghost Blade if you're having problems accessing their backline, like I just said, or Edge of Night if you're having problems with their CC and their frontline, really. But that's the build path. These runes work with it. The blue runes work with it. The red runes work with it. And the alternative white runes work with it as well. It actually works. This page works slightly better when you have coup de grace over cutdown and free boots over cashback. This build path, sorry, but it doesn't matter too much. Another thing, so that's like the core build, right? So I also want to show you the Hydra Zed. I don't do Hydra Zed anymore for one reason. When I do this build, my jungler hates me, and they've rage quit the game 3 times in a row when I was doing it. So I'll explain why. It's just jungle tilt denies me from playing this build in high elo at least. But in low elo, your jungler's perma tilted anyway. and you want a 1v9. So this is actually a very powerful 1v9 build for lower elo. So you rush Eclipse. This is your rune page, by the way, if you're laning. Well, you have to be laning. So you rush Eclipse in most matchups, unless the matchup is really easy and you can go Hydra first. Then skip Eclipse. But assuming most games you're gonna have to go Eclipse, it's fine. Then you go Hydra. That's your first 2 items. And once you have Hydra, or once you have Tiamat really, you can start just one-shotting the Raptor camps because you're Zed, and once you get it low, your passive takes over. It doesn't invest too much time to one-shot. Like I just did it in like a few seconds. You know, you can easily take it, go back to lane, farm it out, run the wolves, farm that, go back to lane, push it out, wait 2 more waves, this respawns, push, take that, and rinse and repeat. Your jungler is gonna hate your guts though. You're taking so much farm from him, but it's such a 1v9 build because you never really have to go back to base because of all the healing you get from this item. You're farming the crap out of your opponent because you one-shot the waves so fast, and you have Eclipse proc as well for farming with a cut down, making your first strike just give you like 40 gold per proc. Like you're farming the enemy champion, you're farming the camps on cooldown, and you're one-shotting the wave while staying full HP and generating just massive advantages over your opponent. It's really 1v9, but it tilts your jungler, and yeah, I mean, use it at your own risk. So this is how the rest of the build path goes. CD boots, Grudge, you go Axiom, then Spear, and then sell boots. You have enough CDR, so again, same decision. You sell boots for Ghostblade, Edge of Night, probably Ghostblade with this setup, because you already have like triple offensive defensive items, right? So you go Ghostblade, you don't really need the Edge of Night. If you're very end game, you could start swapping items around, so you can swap this end game for Hydra, and then you can also swap this for Death's Dance. But that's like end game stuff. You don't necessarily need, you don't have to do it, but you will have a lot of gold by 30 minutes, and I've had games where I've been able to swap all of the items around and just make the build slightly better at 6 items. But the build path is so strong that, like, yeah, it's just insane. And yeah, this is the cooldowns. Fun 1v9 build. That's basically build guide. You know, as always, there's also the most basic Zed build that never fails, right? Eclipse. And this is the most popular one. You already know where I'm going with this. Eclipse, Voltaic, right? CDR boots, Grudge, Edge of Night, Axiom, and then you replace boots with Spear. This is the most cookie cutter, basic Zed build. It's reliable, but like it's kind of the jack of all. It's kind of like I'm good at everything, but I can do everything, but I'm not good at anything type of build. Like it's gonna just be okay at whatever you do, but it's not gonna excel at anything you do. So that's kind of the problem with why I don't really build that build. Because as you get better building on Zed, you'll know which games, oh, this is going to be a Death's Dance game, which I talked about in another video. This is going to be my Death's Dance rush game. It's like Kiana matchup. Maybe they have another 80 jungler like Kazakhs. Let's rush Death's Dance. Oh, this matchup is really easy, so I don't need Eclipse. I'm going to go lethality build. So I'm actually going to go like one of my rune pages that synergize with it. I'm going to do my lethality build. Or shit, this matchup's really hard. I'm actually just gonna go Bruiser Conqueror, which I don't even have the slot here, but I didn't finish this yet. But the Bruiser build, you know. And so by the time with all 3 of those builds plus the Hydra build, like you don't really go into standard build too often. This is basically the build you should be building on Zed if you don't know what to build. If you actually are confused on how to build Zed, this is what you should just do, because yeah. Otherwise, you might make a mistake, go a build that's not good in the game you're in, and be like, wow, why am I not doing damage? So, no Cyclist Sword. I think I mentioned it, like in this build, and like it's an endgame build. I guess I should have explained why Umbral. The reason why we're doing Umbral is because the stats are just as good as Cyclist Sword. It's like, what, 3 lethality less? And obviously you don't get the damage proc, but it's 500 gold cheaper. And that's just too good. Like that's just, let's be honest, Cyclist Sword isn't even gold efficient. This item is more than gold efficient. It's like actually saving you money by building it. So for snowballing, especially slot 1 item when you want to like snowball, fantastic. And what it also does is it gives you a Dirk in lane, or a Dirk for early game, which is like the best starting item on Zed. Like if you could, any build that goes Dirk is a good build on, like that can rush Dirk on Zed is just gonna feel amazing early. And then the flow, the power curve of these two items is, okay, you recalled, got your Dirk. You recalled, got your Umbral Glaive. You recalled again, you got another Dirk. Then you got your Warhammer, then you recall again, then you get your Warhammer plus your CDR boots. Then you recall again, then you finished your Hubris, right? Like every recall spike, if you're just on regular tempo, you don't even have to be that accelerated, is insanely good. So the odds are, if you just like play conservative, keep your farm up, and don't die while building like that, you're going to find opportunities to get fed. I have basically gotten fed every single game I've played this build. Every single game. There's been one game in like 50 games where I'm like, wow. And it wasn't really because of my items. It was just like my whole team was exploding so hard that like there's nothing you can do. Very rarely happens. So yeah, that's basically why I love this build path. It's so, and then obviously Hubris late game, amazing, because you went to second. You're gonna have so many stacks. Makes this whole build just come together. I play them when they come up, right? Like I can't really decide that, because like if the matchup calls for it, I'll do the Death Stance Rush. If the matchup calls for it, I'll do Rav Hydra. If the matchup calls for it, I'll do Lethality, or I'll do Bruiser, or I'll do Standard. So it just really comes up. Depends on team comp. Depends what kind of comp they have, and what kind of comp they have, and what kind of matchup you have, and what kind of 2v2 you have, and a lot of factors that come in that you'll learn these things over time as you get better. When do you build Profane Hydra over lethality items? Do you build it for the Tiamat auto? It's not an auto reset, or for higher burst, or so it's actually not on auto reset, the Tiamat active. But I build Profane as the way you should look at Profane is its death cap for AD assassins. That's honestly the best way to look at it, because it's very gold inefficient unless you already have a lot of damage and a lot of lethality, right? Because lethality is a stat that scales with itself. The more armor pen you have, the more effective it is, because the closer you get your opponent to 0 armor, the more damage you're dealing. So lethality is a scaling stat, and then the active itself doesn't do much damage unless you have a lot of AD. So once you get a lot of AD, the active is going to do a lot of damage. So like again, it's an active that scales with itself. So you need a lot of items to make Hydra be a good item, basically. So picture it as like the death cap for AD assassins. It's like your capstone item. You build it. You can build it last, or you can build it like close to last. I would recommend just not building it before 4 items. Like if you're building Hydra within your first 3 items, you're probably not building it at the right time. I mean, I know you aren't building it at the right time. So yeah, there's only a small argument you can make for Profane Hydra. If you have Conqueror, but you're going full burst everything else, and you're playing Assassin, but like that build's not even good, right? It's just an inefficient build. But if you're doing that build, you can do it like second, just because it stacks Conqueror faster. But that's it. It's just a bad build though. You're better off with Voltaic. Any tips to utilize Conqueror in lane better? A lot of people don't do this. It's really obvious, but when you poke them with WEQ and you have 6 stacks Conqueror up, it's pretty good to swap back in to walk away and try to bait them to walk forward. Because if your shadow's behind them, you could swap in with 6 stack Conqueror, and if you wait last second on the shadow swap, you'll have full CDs, which means auto E, you're 10 stacks, 1 more Q, you're maxed out. So you can do a lot of damage to them and start healing off your Conqueror if you take trades like that. That's the thing though, like I'm not a big fan of Conqueror in lane, because you have to utilize it correctly, you have to shadow swap in, and that is just horrible in this current meta with support living mid and jungle being mid 24/7 because their camps are so close to your lane. So it is a very shitty. I mean, it's really easy to gank Conqueror Zed. It's really easy to kill Conqueror Zed. Like here's the problem with Conqueror Zed too. The page is really slow. You get outscaled unless you snowball. So like that's why I recommend First Strike, because First Strike you don't have to swap in, and even if you don't generate like kill leads early, you're still gonna be fine because you're generating gold through your runes. So yeah, I prefer First Strike. And if you do snowball, you snowball even harder because you have First Strike. You have even more money, right? So First Strike is just the creme de la creme of Zed runes right now. What matchups are suitable for Comet? Squishy mages. Like I like it against Wei. I like it into like Orianna. I think I might like it into Victor. Victor's not that squishy though, but mostly the zoning like area control, squishy control mages it's good into, like Orianna and Wei. Those are the champions off the top of my head. I think against maybe the more battle mage champions like Azir and Victor, you probably want like Electrocute or you want Conqueror into those because they're just naturally tankier because they have big shields. Syndra, you could do Comet or Electrocute into Syndra. Victor actually is more like Electrocute or Conqueror. Azir, I think you just go Bruiser Conqueror. Syndra's a relatively easy matchup though, so I'd probably go Comet into Syndra. Yeah, you mean you just WEQ her, and if she ever tries to EQ you while you do that, you just swap and dodge it while you swap in and start trading even harder after dodging all her spells. So that matchup is pretty easy. The only time Syndra matchups can be difficult is if the Syndra understands your range really well and is playing like her max ranges on you, and it's very hard for you to walk up. Then Comet would actually be very good in that situation because you're throwing WE at the edge of your E max range, and then you're walking back out of her range, and then you're throwing Q while she's slowed. So in those situations, it's kind of like when you're going for those Eclipse procs. You're getting way more value from Comet than you would from Electrocute or Conqueror. That's it for this guide. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm gonna try to improve my mood this game. I'm just in a shit mood the whole stream.
I'm just eating some fucking ramen, man. That was gay for Shen. No, I think Shen and Zed are like mortal enemies, basically.
Zed doesn't hate Shen, because like, so Shen hates Zed because he thinks that Zed killed his dad, and Zed knows he didn't kill his dad, and his dad just like actually turned to the dark side, became basically Palpatine from like Star Wars, and but he's just like he's just accepting like he's living the lie of like, oh, I killed him, because like it's easier for Shen to think that it's Zed who killed him instead of his dad just being corrupted. But then Zed ends up having to kill his dad because he's just like, he becomes too dark, too corrupted.
He's just an evil fucking dude.
Yeah.
Learning. My man knows Zed lore.
No way. He's godlike. Dude, coup de grace, 59 damage that fight from a little baby rune. Kind of OP.
If she didn't hit 4 there, that probably went different. Oh, she's TPing. You want to punch it?
Yeah, I do. I also want to cross river. I need her to pop phase rush on you, and then once it's down. Boom! Edge shot.
Flashed. Just take the wave.
Uh-oh, Janna's gonna stop me.
I mean, even if I flash, I'm gonna die to Jenna.
I'm baiting her.
Just actually seeing my flash. Unless I just want to die to Jenna instead. That's sad though, because of my wave. I'm walking straight there rather than going to try and fix my wave.
No swap. Oh, wait, the fuck? They buffed it. Never mind. Yes!
Well, my wave fucking blows, but I feel like we're actually low-key chilling.
I died there with 2450 gold. So I'm so fed now.
Ironically, thank God I saved my flash. Because I don't think I would have killed Elise if I didn't have it.
I think I can look mid soon. Yeah, I'll do Krugs and then I'll get 6 off it. And I can loot. Mundo winning that matchup is insane. Defies logic. Like, especially early. On my way. Oh, no vision.
Nice. That's actually like fucking lit right there.
Well played.
Okay, there's two situations that happen here. Either I'm like non-greedy and just rush merc shreds here, right?
Okay.
Or I go big dick damage.
Big dick, obviously. Obviously big dick.
All right. We go Sorkies then if we want big dick.
No question about it.
Snakes.
Yeah. Make her like want to push the wave in, like hold it. Coming. I can't fight that. Wait, I can now.
It's one Q that mattered.
It's be 5 seconds. 2, 1.
I'll get an assist.
Nice. Dude, he had Lich Bane and Boots. He thought, oh, I have so much speed, I'll catch him.
You ain't catching me, bitch.
You catch these nuts.
Literally. Literally.
I'm on the prowl.
She's kind of low.
I had to fight Elisa Raptors. Is a bouquet.
Flowers. clean trade right there. Not clean last inning though. Is that the actual build now for her? Is Static Shiv?
I don't like it. Not a fan.
You don't?
Not a fan.
God damn it, Jenna.
Actually, wish I learned how to play Akali.
Got enough wave clear options? I mean,
At least.
actually, what's her name? Her wave clear without fucking Renance is actually really bad. Her wave clear is actually ass without Renance. Takes 8 hours a wave to get her Q. I mean, even then, like, her wave clear, even with Q up, is actually, like, pretty bad early. It doesn't really do that much damage. But especially so if you don't have your Q stacked. You were saying you wish you learned to play Akali?
Yeah, I'd actually want to learn her.
I mean, if you can play Zed, bro, you can play this fucking champion. She ain't hard.
She looks so fun.
She actually really is.
I just have this thing against, like, champs that are, like, giga broken on release. Don't play them until they get nerfed. Ah, you fucking pig!
You fucking bitch. Get fucked.
Oh.
To be fair, like when I played Akali, she's actually the first champion I mained to get challenger with. But this is like old Akali, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Old Akali. But that's the one I didn't want to... Oh, you mean pre-rework.
Back when her ult was like stacked or like had charges. She had the pom-poms.
Mm-hmm. I actually missed... I think I told you once before, but like... I think that version of Akali was fine until they gave her the blink on the W, and then that champ just became like untraceable.
Nah. Even then, I still don't think the champion was that OP even afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, I think they just changed Akali, like, just, like, for shits and gigs.
Yeah. No, but it was super frustrating when I was low elo back then too, to like face Akali, because I could not keep track of her when she pressed W after they gave it the blink.
There's a lot of champions like that. Like, Fizz is just way more OP. And low elos too.
Yeah, this is really broken, low.
People just like he's literally one of those champions that gets worse when people know like what to do.
She thinks she can fight.
Sick of your shit.
That would have been a nice...
I'm sick of it, bitch. Stop poking me. Why so many Oris? That's what I've been saying, man. I've faced 3 Oris in a row today, and they're all different Oris. Like, did Ori get buffed, or is it just like coincidence and I'm just facing all these Oris?
Winky dink. Oh fuck, I forgot what it's like to win the Feats of War. We haven't won the Feats of War all day. They need to change
Also
it.
sound like a massive loss streak. Dude.
Yeah. No, we're playing well every game, so I don't know. It's like just actual
My first
luck.
2 games without you, I was actually like playing very well, and I lost both of them.
Yeah, we're just losers queue today.
Bro, I played a game as Ziggs, and I was my best performing player on my team. Like, I don't think Quantum first time Ziggs should be the best player on your team.
Hubris. Yes.
My champion's so stupid. You know, okay, you know the main reason why I hate Akali? Like, the entire point of Akali is to, like, land the Q, get, like, your mark, and hit them, or whatever. But, like, Akali doesn't even need to do that. She just needs to spam Q. Like, her passive is just kind of like a bonus. It's not, like, the main thing anymore. Oh, you're a monster.
They're fucking cooked. Look at my Hubris stack. It's a full item now. At least
You're
it's
getting
here.
97 AD off of one item right now? Because they're 60... 99 AD off of one item now?
This item, when you snowball with it, is just disgusting. But it's actually underpowered, believe it or not.
Worst part of playing college, your parents are disappointed in you. Well, I mean, that's already the case. Even if I wasn't playing a goalie.
Same.
Yo, Johnny DX5 is a fucking pussy. Murphy, what up? Oh, wow. To be honest, I thought I was going to do a little bit more damage. Like my E, Q, ult. Laceration, like, stop being mean to these guys, man. Stop being mean to these guys.
Where's the China? Where's the China?
She's all the way in base.
GG, wow. Alright, I'm playing Morgana jungle next game. I'm tired.
I think I'm overdosing.